So we made it to Biloxi. We're up here on the top of the parking garage right now, and pulled the gas tank out of my dad's car, the 38 here. It developed a leak while we were heading down the road. This rubber plug got eat up by the gas and fell out. So he had a gas leak, and we're patching it with some sheet metal and some JB Weld for on the fly stuff. Layla did great as always. Truck's been dependable as sunrise since I built it, and it's just going to continue being. So yeah, we're just out here doing a thing.
Cadillac. There's a different Cadillac. Over the last round. Nice piece of kit right there. We're doing good.
And here we are at the end of the little snippet video there. Didn't get to do a whole lot of filming. I took a lot more pictures, but I'm sure there are many hundreds of thousands of pictures flooding the internet from cruising the coast, so I'm not going to bother posting all of those. I may post a few to Instagram just of the really cool cars that I saw that I thought really kind of stood out to me. But we are back. We made it back. Truck ran good on the way down. We knew that I knew nothing about this engine. It came out of a 75 C10. It ran. When I couldn't rebuild the other big block, I put that one in it. On the way down, it was maintaining somewhere between 20 and 22 pounds of oil pressure, which isn't great, but not the worst thing in the world, especially because I had some Lucas in it. No big deal. Cruised around down there all week. This is the first year we've ever got to do the whole cruise. So we went to all 6. When you check in, you get a little postcard basically with 6 stamps you can go get. One in Pascagoula, one in Ocean Springs, one in D'Iberville, one at the Edgewater Mall right there in Biloxi, which was actually pretty close to where we stayed. And then when you go west, you got to go to Pass Christian or Pass Christian, not sure how that's pronounced, and then Bay St. Louis. You get all 6 stamps, you turn it in, makes you eligible for some drawing, whatever. This was the first year we actually got to do the whole cruise. Me, my dad, our friend with the Belvedere, which is in one of these clips. You can see the fender of it. Built that car a long time ago. And then my other buddy with the green Torino, which you should see in one of the pictures in this video as well. Rebuilt that car with him a couple years ago now. Anyways, so we all got to do the cruise. We got all 6 stamps. First year we got to do it. It was pretty cool. Cruised around there all week. Good oil pressure. Truck ran great. No problems. Excuse me. Found one of my rear axle U-bolts on the left side. So that truck, as you saw in the rebuild, has only got 1 U-bolt per side. The front nut, excuse me, the front nut on the driver's side was gone. I shut the truck off and coasted into a parking spot one day, let the clutch out, and when I did, I heard a nasty creak come from the rear end. Looked up at the front nut was gone, and the back nut was about halfway off. Passenger side was still tight, so I don't know if I just forgot to go back and torque those. Don't know what happened. Found me a hardware store, found another nut, ran it up on there, torqued all 4 down. Everything was good to go there. That's really about it. No real issues there. However, did run into some problems on the way home. Turned an 8-hour drive into about a 15-hour drive for me. So my dad's car, the 38, was not fast enough to take the interstates. He was taking side roads. Him and our buddy in the Belvedere, they were taking back roads on the way down. So it was going to take them longer anyway. So they left early Saturday morning, took off, got 3 or 4 hours ahead of us when we took off. And within about 45 minutes of leaving Biloxi, my oil pressure started dropping rapidly. It went from 20 pounds down to 15 pounds, down to 10. And then the gauge that I had in the truck it was 5, and then 10, 15, 20. It was only in increments of 5. And it was hanging down just below that 10 psi mark, but it wasn't great. It was somewhere in the 7-8 pound region. So I stopped. On the way down, we did find out the truck was burning a little bit of oil. Not a huge deal, just burning a little bit of oil. Stopped, topped it off with some Lucas, hit down the road. It bumped it up to about 12 pounds and then started dropping again. Ooh, that's not good. Did the same thing again, stopped again, checked it. I checked the block temperature with a laser gun just to make sure that it wasn't actually overheating tremendously, and it wasn't. It was block temperature was 170 degrees. The oil level was still full. Problems. So pulled over the third time after speaking to my dad on the phone, and we kind of agreed that since I added Lucas and didn't really see a significant change, well, actually at that point I had added Lucas and didn't see a change. So since I added Lucas, didn't see a change, we're thinking, okay, maybe the gauge is going bad. So I found me another AutoZone, pulled in, got a gauge, swapped the gauges out in the parking lot, fired it up, 10 pounds of oil pressure. Kind of going down the road, dropped down to 8, then dropped down to about 7 or 6. Pulled over again. I said, babe, this is the only thing we got. My wife was behind me in a sport vehicle. So the only option I got is to drain all of the oil and put thick stuff in it, right? So I drained 4.5 quarts of oil out, or 5 quarts of oil out, and I put 4 quarts of straight Lucas oil stabilizer in it. Nice, thick, gummy stuff, And then on top of that, I added another quart of STP oil treatment. So I drained out 15, it was either 1030 or 1540 weight oil, which was a little smoked. It was hot when I drained it, but it was a little brown. It looked odd. There weren't any shavings in anything, but it looked odd. So I drained everything out and added 4 quarts of like 200 weight oil, and then a quart of like 300 weight oil. Fired the truck up straight up to 40 pounds. So okay, now I might limp it home. And at that point, I was tired of stopping. Said, it's either going to make it or I'm going to window the block. At this point, I don't even care. So as I started going down the road, engine starts heating up again. It wound up dropping down to 22 pounds of oil pressure, but it maintained 22 pounds of oil pressure all the way home. So when I split off from my wife, we were still 3 hours from the house. I was in Noonan, Georgia, and like I said, my dad had been taking back roads on the way up because he couldn't run interstate speeds. So right before we started getting to Noonan exits, he called me and said, hey, car's dead. Come give me a hand. And probably didn't have to. By the time I got there, they had already figured it out. But either way, right around Noonan exit, we stopped. I gave her the house keys. She took off onto the house. I went and found them. We finished fixing the car, got some dinner, got a hotel, and I got back up the next morning at like 6 o'clock and mobbed on home. So I got home about 9:30 on Sunday morning. So it turned an 8-hour drive into a 15-hour drive. But the truck did make it. It sounded good. It looked good. Thanks to anybody who came up and talked about the truck or anything like that. I know that I gained a few subscribers while I was down there. I appreciate y'all a lot. It was a good time. I don't think we're going to make it back next year. However, I do have plans to potentially come back for 2027. I want to get a Suburban that my wife wants, and we're going to build that for her. And hopefully, which is a very soon upcoming project on the channel, I've got a 54 Chevrolet that I'm going to start working on. That's going to be a flipper. I don't want to keep it, but I do want to keep it long enough to drive it and work the bugs out, make sure it's going to be a good runner. So potentially for 2027, I'll be bringing 2 vehicles, my 54 Chevrolet truck and my wife's Suburban, so that way her and the kids can come out to the shows with me. It was kind of hard to do with a 2-seater truck this year. So plus let her have a little bit more fun. But yeah, thanks for watching, and like, subscribe, share it with your friends. We're going to be back. We're going to be working on some more stuff here soon. We're going to be starting on the Frankenstein project. My dad's 47 on a 91 Ford F-350 chassis. We're going to finish up the wiring, get it fired. I'll show y'all some of the intricate crap we've been doing on that. And then I've got that orange 77 Ford. I've also got a blue and silver 78 Ford that we're going to be putting a paint job on to get it sold as well. So plenty of upcoming content. Have no fear. We're going to be building stuff. We're going to be doing redneck stuff, and it's going to be great. So thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time on Z Daddy's Garage.